I think for me, the artist's way at the moment is honestly just self-reflection in general. I mean, it started off as let's respark our creativity, but in some way, that's sort of like tangled into my own personal spiritual growth, which I kind of guess is what's intended. I find myself in the morning pages not really reflecting on art or creativity. Sometimes it's to do with that, but it's more to do with working through my personal mind and working through the processes and the blocks that I have in my own life, which in turn, I guess, when I come through some of those blocks, can help me to be more creative. And I do think that when I'm relaxed and when I'm less in my head, I'm naturally more creative. So yeah, it's a blurry little field that I've been in for like the past few couple of weeks because the journey started and I was feeling very quite clear-minded and excited about making this whole thing, pushing it in a very artsy direction. And now it's just become like because of life comes in and like problems come in and certain problems that are to do with work, some problems are to do with home, some relationships, and some with just myself, like my own personal blocks that I've been trying to overcome. So I think it's been a bit of a journey, and I am glad that sometimes, sometimes with the morning pages, I find them just like it's almost like I'm kind of just filling it with shit to get through the pages sometimes, and I think I've noticed myself sometimes maybe avoiding going too deep, which I shouldn't be. But at the same time, like that'll be like 1 or 2 days, and then the third day I might, go in super deep and just go super, what I think is truthful. So I think it's like a juggle. It's a back and forth. Um, it's interesting because they've had different phases. Like when I started the pages, it was like saying the most random, playful shit, interesting, funny. Then, then it kind of evolved more into more intentional. So the first page would start off like quite bizarre, and then the second page and the third page would be like intentional affirmations. And now it's just a mix of like just fucking writing on whatever problems are on my mind in the morning. And then sometimes it'll be thrown in mixed with affirmations. It'll be mixed with things that I'm trying to work out in my personal life that I might have a question on my head the day before. Um, so yeah, it's just a mixed match really. But I think this morning, interestingly, like I've been back in Leicester for like the past few days because of a family wedding, and I think this morning there was an interesting little kind of realization that I had, which is to do with more of my spiritual and mental health. But I guess again, like I said, those things are linked. So yeah, it starts with like nowadays I don't really want to fucking write hoo ha. I tell you, so many pages suck. These pages can suck a dick sometimes. I'm really craving a goodness of heart recently. Um, so my writing is so difficult to read. Um, but like Michael Singer said, maybe it's because I'm addicted to the feeling of things going my way, or my thoughts being the way that I want them to be, or my heart feeling the way that I want it to be. Maybe those things are addictions, and maybe it's okay being okay with that noise. Of course, my thoughts and feelings are always entertaining to me, just as everybody else's thoughts and feelings are entertaining to them, because it's personalized. It's based on what you've liked and what you've disliked. It's based on your own drama. Like if you grew up in a house with a single parent and you meet a kid that also is growing up with a single parent, you'll pay much more attention to another kid that has maybe dyslexia that maybe you can't relate to. It's all full of our personal drama, and it shows us that we lean into it a lot. So therefore, I think the key is to lean back into one pointedness with God, lean back into the present moment, lean back into life, the moment in front of you. Don't retreat. and that's some words I often use for myself, which sounds, I don't know how that comes across to people, but for me, don't retreat means when you see a sensitive thought, sensitive feeling, don't retreat into that space. Stay here, stay present. Let it be. Don't have to change it, but you don't have to like get lost in it as well. Anyway, that's what I wrote this morning. So if we look at, and I've filled up my whole Morning Pages book, by the way, so that's boom. But also, I also just figured out that apparently the Morning Pages book that she kind of prescribes is an A4 size, which I'm like, holy shit, I've only been doing A5 and I find it fucking kind of exhausting in the mornings. Let alone that sometimes I just fucking scribble through the whole thing. So yeah. How many days a week did you do Morning Pages? All 7. I haven't failed on that at all yet. Experience me, I kind of already talked about that. Did I do my artist date this week? I mean, I did, but it was a little bit shit, and it was a little bit rushed, and I don't know if I gave myself enough grace around it. So I had a jigsaw puzzle in my room. It was a 1,000-piece one, so it wasn't really going to get that far in an hour. And also, I thought I had enough time for a full hour, and I got interrupted by my parents who were saying we're actually going to leave earlier than expected to the wedding. So yeah, I kind of had to rush to get ready, and so I spent about 50 minutes doing that whilst listening to a Michael Singer talk, which was really, really great. Michael Singer, that wrote The Untethered Soul, in case you didn't know. But again, I don't know who I'm making this video for. If it's for my future self or if it's for YouTube, for the masses in the future, I have no idea. But yeah, it was nice playing my acoustic guitar, which is back here in Leicester. I'm learning some of the soundtracks from the Sinners movie, which is really great. I think I'm a little bit out of balance, not really in harmony at the moment, as I was when I maybe started this journey. But that's okay, you know. She did mention that in this book that it might look a bit messy, and I don't know if that's to do with The Artist Way or my commitment changing or just several other personal shit going on. But I do know that it is nice to still commit to the Morning Pages and the artist dates where I can. I think it's still exciting. I think I would like to... Next week I have an interesting artist day. I've got these beads that my sister gave me, and it's like kind of like bracelet stuff that you can make. And I thought that would be really nice to sit down for an hour, 2 hours and bash that out. So yeah, that's it really. Oh shit, yeah, I forgot to mention. I wrote a song on the coach back to Leicester. It was part of like actually me and my housemates, my 2 brothers, not actual brothers, but they're my almost like metaphysical brothers because we're that tight. Did I just coin a new term? Metaphysical brothers. It's interesting. Anyway, so yeah, so I because we read this book called Ways of a Superior Man, and it's a really, really great book out there for all the men that want to understand their masculinity without going into the whole fucking macho, you know, over exaggerated stuff. It's a really grounded way of understanding it, and I think with that book, it kind of goes into you should set goals for yourself every so frequently, and tell your boys that if you don't pass these tests, you have to pay. You have to pay, well, whatever cost you want to set it to, but the whole principle is that you'll have a punishment for not doing these tasks, and that's going to help you stick to your goals. So yeah, James has been doing it for his songs. He's been doing really well. He's been doing 1 song a week, but he is a rapper, so that's fucking amazing, and you know that consistency is going to get him far. And those songs that he's been doing has been really good, like recently as well. So that's amazing. I committed myself to either writing a poem or making a song. I just said very briefly, I'm going to make one creative thing. And I kind of left it to the very last minute. I procrastinated a lot, and then I was like, fuck, I've got a lot of going on. So I find that I like to write. So far, I've only written 2 songs ever, but I find that I like to do it on buses. And I learned this Bob Dylan method, which I saw in a YouTube video, where it's like, he just writes, and he doesn't really, sometimes he might sing about a cat and a dog. It's kind of like the Morning Pages. He just gets out there, the rhythm, the melodies, and then he'll fill in the words after. And you know, I've heard that, like I've heard Kanye does that sometimes, but then just kind of hearing in that video, it was like, he just gets he just gets out, you know, like puke first and then polish later. I really like that rule. I want to apply it more, so I applied it with this song, which is kind of the song that I wrote was kind of about childhood. So technically, I've done my creative project. I just need to record it in BandLab or some other phone app, and then I'm going to send it out to the boys. So yeah, and then this month, this June, I have to create another creative project, which I don't know what it's going to be yet, but I better start planning and not leaving it to the last minute. So yeah. Anyway, peace.